the window minimum script.
Well, I don't have it in front of me, and I'd like to say I remember it almost verbatim, and I probably do. But essentially, it's okay. So, well, this may have been edited since I did it too. Essentially, here's what you have to remember. Somebody wants a small job done. Okay? So what do we not want? Well, yeah, we don't want to do a small job because we can't make any money at all. And at our prices, you would think that's stupid, but if you understand how fixed costs work. So as an example, we have a crew that's got to go out there. How much of the day does the crew lose doing one window? They lose at least a minimum of a half a day. Minimum. How many windows can a crew of 2 people put in a half a day? They could probably put in 6, 5 or 6. So my point is, those guys, we either have to pay them a premium, or we can't get anyone to do it. Because the fact is, how do you pay someone to go do one window? Do we have to send a measure tech out there? Yes. Okay. So how long do you think we lose for the measure tech? Probably pretty close to half a day. You lose 2-3 hours. And those same 2-3 hours, you can measure 12, 15, 18 windows. So we lose a half a day for the measure tech. We lose a half a day for the people installing the windows. We still have to order the windows the same, don't we? We still have to record the shipment the same. We still have to record the shipment the same. We still have to inventory the shipment the same. We still have to assign the crews. Every single cost for doing a 20 window job exists for a 1 window job. Make sense? So whether you believe this or not, take my word for it. At our prices, we lose money selling 1 or 2 windows. Now, how do you say that to somebody? So that's the first thing, is we don't want to do them because we don't want to lose money. That's not good for us, right? Us here, sitting here, do you agree? It's not good for the company to lose money? For us? You see, if companies continue to lose money, first thing they lose is people. They don't change the window, they change people. So, okay. It's always bad if the company's losing money for the people that work there. That's us. What else do you have to be careful of?
We don't want to offend them.
We don't want to offend them, because if you say this wrong, what do they feel?
They think you don't care about them, we just
They
care
think
about
you don't care about them. They think what? Yeah, I'm sorry. John's too freaking small. I don't deal with people like you. Have you ever said something to somebody where they took offense like that and you didn't mean it? Okay, so you have to be very careful at how you say it. We got to think it out, because now here's the other thing. Do these people probably need more windows? They probably do. So why did they only ask for 1? But that's only they could put down on the price sheet. So how do they know that? That's what they think they can afford. You are 100% correct. So if you couldn't afford a whole of something, the first thing you're gonna, the first thing you're thinking of is, what can I buy a little bit, or at least get a price? So why, even if they know they need a bigger job, why would they tell you they want a price on a smaller job? Well, one is yes. What's the other one? Well, because they don't want to give you too much opening to come in and sell them all the windows. So they tell you automatically, I'm not going to buy all the windows. Just give me a price on 1 or 2. And then after you give them a price on 2, they're going to do what? They're going to take the cost of those windows and then multiply it times the number of windows in the house. So they figure this way they can save time. Have you ever had this happen to you? You sell your appointment right, but then in confirmation they decide they're not going to do 10, they're only going to do 3. Therefore, instead of 90 minutes, you only need 30 minutes. In other words, because we're not going to look at all the windows, they need less time. Does it take any less time? No, because the only difference is you're measuring 5 less windows. How long does it take to measure those windows? 30 seconds each. I mean, it's very quick to do this for pricing reasons in a house. So those 6 windows, all that saves is 3 minutes. It doesn't save an hour. Does that make sense? But some of them think like that. Make sense? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So you have to be very careful how you say this. So the way we do the window minimum is first of all to provide assurance. Mr. Holmes, first of all, let me assure you, we are going to help you any way we can. Now look, like every company, we have some fixed costs. These remain the same, whether you're putting in one window or whether you're installing 20 windows. Now, it costs us the same to install 1 or 2 windows as about the same to install 3. And that's because of the people that are involved, the shipping that's involved, the amount of time we lose putting in an installation. So, the minimum we can charge to do this job right and not lose any money is what it costs us to install 3 windows. So in other words, we're glad to price you on 1 or 2, but it's going to cost the same as 3. So if you're going to pay for 3, you might as well get 3 windows. Which other ones would you like to include? And that's missing here. That's missing. That would be my last line. So which other ones would you like to include? Which is what basically saying what? There's no way in hell you're going to do 1 or 2 windows if you're going to pay for 3. I don't want to do that to you, so now you're making it look like what? You're doing me a favor, because you're saying to me, look, that's what you want, we are glad to do it. Let me just explain something. And by the way, what are the costs? I just did it for you. What are the costs? Cost is about the same thing to have an install crew do 1 as it does 3. For the measure tech that has to come to the house, the person that's going to plan the whole job, it's going to take them the same amount of time. It's going to cost us the same. Ordering stays the same. Shipping, inventory, all those costs are the same. So essentially, it costs us just as much to do 1 as it does 3. Just accept the price of the window itself. Right. Now that's a lot of money. So since we have to charge you for that, you might as well get 3 windows. Which ones would you like to include? Now, do you hear how that's said? You said it to them like, you ever been in a store and they say, you know what, buy 3, you get the 3rd one free. You ever have it in saying, you buy 1, if you buy 2, you get the 3rd one free. That's like half price. It's up to you, but if you need 3, take the 3. You ever been in a store and they say, don't buy the bowl, save the amount as the cup. Do you ever have a server tell you that? Don't buy the bowl of soup, it's got the same amount of soup as the cup, it's just bigger. Is this the English-speaking group? Have you had that? But have you ever had somebody give you advice not to buy something the way it's priced? How'd you feel? Thankful. That's what you want this to sound like. And you have to believe it for it to sound like that. But it has to sound like, hey, that's what. But what do you have to say to them first? We're going to do whatever you want. You want the 2 windows. Now, but think about this really. Who's going to come back and say, I want that 1 window and I want to pay the same as 3 when you come? Now, they may not like, but the point is, if you say it that way, it sounds like a favor as opposed, I'm sorry, we have a 3 window minimum.
Well, what they say is, it's free of charge for you guys to come here, right?
Yes.
So just
Glad to. Just as long as you know in front, glad to give it to you. As long as you know in front, you're going to pay about the same for 3 windows. I'm just saying, if you're going to pay for 3 windows, you might as well get 3 windows. Which ones would you like to include? Guys, if you do it like that, you're rarely going to have an argument about what the one window price is. Now, they may come back and they may ask you, what are those other costs? What are they? Cost of the crew. Is it true? If you don't believe it, I can't help you. It is true. It costs us as much to go install those. The crew's going to lose a half a day. The measure tech's going to lose pretty much a half a day. Measure tech can't make more than about 3 or 4 calls in a day. But that 1 call is going to take us, we have to do all the same crap, whether it's 1 window or 5 or 6 windows, or 1 window or 20 windows. The only difference is measuring the windows and going over each one with the person. But driving to the house, going through all the crap with them about the job, and then leaving the house and driving to the next house takes us the same amount of time. Does that make sense? It takes us more time than what we're doing in the house. So that's why it costs more money. That was the last question?
That was it.
So, but I'm going to tell you, the best way to solve this one, what's the best way to solve this one? That's way up on the list. I think there's something even more important than the rebuttal I just gave you. What do you think it is? What do you mean the upselling portion?
They say that we'll give you a free energy loss assessment, and which windows are worse off than others, how many windows you own. Our foreman may be able to assess which windows
Yes,
are
so
worse.
essentially what they're getting at here is this. If you've done your D&D correctly, you've discovered they need other windows, which is what? So you're going to suggest, what are we coming there to do? Why don't we look at them all? And they're going to say, well, I don't have the money to do them all. I said, well, I understand that, but the more you do, it changes your cost. It can make it more affordable. So if money's, listen, Mrs. Jones, let me be very, I'm gonna put on the notes each one. Let me explain. Now I go back and explain this. And while we're at it, why don't you let us measure them all? But the secret is, if you're doing your work on the D&D, they should, if you're doing your work right on the D&D, they should understand something real clear. They got a window problem. Solving one isn't gonna just do it. In the last 2 months, I have been on 4 leads that were set for one window or one door. 4 of them, where the initial price given was anywhere from 32 to 40-some thousand bucks. How did we do it? What kind of magic do you think we did with these people? What kind of pixie dust do you think we threw on them? What did we do?
Drop some knowledge.
We just walked around the house and looked at the freaking windows. And so you ask them a question. Okay, I know you only want this door. Out of curiosity, how'd you choose the door? How come you didn't choose anything else here? How'd you choose this? Well, it's the worst one, and we don't have a lot of money. We want to do that one first. Okay, makes plenty of sense, except that the bigger the job, the more you can actually save, and you're going to have to do these eventually. So if you do the job in small pieces, it's going to cost you a little bit more. Look, I'll do whatever you want. While we're here, why don't you let me look at them? I'll price them all out individually, and then you can mix and match and see which ones you want the most. Now, but you're already walking around looking at the windows, and you see stuff. That's it? Any other windows you want me to look at? If I were to look at any of your windows, would I see anything I haven't seen here? Well, yeah, we have a couple windows upstairs out of this. Well, why am I not pricing those? Well, we just wanted to see what these cost first. Oh, okay, that's fair, because you will see what 2 or 3 of them cost. Okay, but you understand you're going to pay more for these 2 or 3 if you buy them initially than if you look at the whole thing. Oh, there's savings? Yeah, may I make a suggestion? I'm here. It's going to take us 5 more minutes to measure the others. Let me price them each individually. It's good for a year. You got the price locked in for a year. You can call us back anytime you want. Wouldn't that be helpful? How many people do you think say no to that? So my point is, the rep needs to do that, right? But can't we do some of that over the phone? So the best way to solve this is to, and we use a term in your videos. Let's see if you can remember it. There might be a prize. What's the term that we use in the videos that shows what we're trying to do to their brain and their problem?
Manipulate.
What's that?
Manipulate.
Manipulate.
No, it's the Italian phrase.
Sotto voce? No, that's the way you talk. No, I'm talking about visual immersion. Is that written in your methodology? Yes. It's called visual immersion. What you're doing is you get them to talk about the job so they can see the problems in their head. The more you see the problem, what do they want to do?
Fix it.
They want to fix it. So what you're doing is you're trying to get them in a conversation. They called because they want to price them 2 or 3 windows. And what you do in your conversation, you get them in a price to realize the windows are all bad. And really, the smartest thing for them to do is not to get a price on 3 windows. It's to get a professional expert to look at all the freaking windows and assess it, because they got problems. Do they want the problem? No, they want it to go away. You know, they want it to go away. They want all the windows to be great. What do they want to spend? Nothing. You'll buy. How many of you, raise your hand, have ever owned a house? Ever owned a house? How many of you ever owned a house? Okay. So for the rest of you, let me be very clear. Whenever you've made some money, the last freaking thing you're going to spend it on is windows. All right? When I replace my windows, do I call my friends? Do I invite them over to my house? No. I invited them to my house when I bought the pool table and the fire pit. My friends came to my house and thought, Yoho is cool. Right. Windows do not earn me any cool points. All right. My buddy across the street's got a big, loud Mustang convertible. Somebody saw me in it the other day and said to me, that was cool. Yes, it's a very cool car. My son thinks it's cool. He's 16. He thinks he's going to get one. So, all right, he's saying he's going to get one of these. That makes sense? Guys, this isn't a cool project. They're trying to avoid doing it. They know their windows are bad. You've got to get them in a conversation so that they realize you're right. All you're trying to sell is a price. We're done. You want me over here?
Looking.